Welcome, listeners, to a tale that will send chills down your spine and leave you questioning the boundary between our world and the great unknown. Imagine a village once bustling with life, now reduced to a desolate and eerie silence. A place where the echoes of the past linger, whispering secrets that have remained buried for nearly 2 centuries. In the heart of the far desert, in the Indian state of Rajasthan, lies the abandoned village of Kuldhara, a place cursed, they say, by the very souls who once called it home. On a fateful night in 1825, the entire population of this village vanished without a trace, leaving behind their homes, their possessions, and a lingering mystery that has defied explanation to this very day. As you venture into the crumbling ruins of Kuldhara, an unsettling silence envelops you, broken only by the faint whispers carried on the desert wind. Shadows seem to dance in the corners of your vision, taunting you with their fleeting presence. What dark secret drove the inhabitants to abandon their homes overnight? What forces lurk within these ancient walls, casting an oppressive pall over all who dare to trespass? Join me as we unravel the chilling tale of the silent town of Kuldhara, a place where the veil between the living and the dead grows thin, and where the truth may be more terrifying than any ghost story you've ever heard. Deep within the arid expanse of the far desert, a deathly silence reigns supreme over the crumbling ruins of what was once the thriving village of Kuldhara. This forsaken place, now little more than a haunting testament to the fragility of human existence, has stood abandoned for nearly 2 centuries. Its streets and dwellings frozen in time, devoid of life. Kuldhara's origins can be traced back to the late 16th century, when it flourished as a prosperous settlement, its inhabitants seeking out a living from the unforgiving desert sands. Yet, on a fateful night in the year 1825, an event of such magnitude occurred that it would forever etch Kuldhara's name into the annals of the inexplicable. As the moon rose high over the desert that night, something drove the entire population of over 1,500 souls to make a decision that defies rational explanation. In a mass exodus shrouded in secrecy, every man, woman, and child abandoned their homes, leaving behind their worldly possessions and the life they had known. To this day, the village stands as they left it, a petrified relic of a bygone era. Doors hang ajar, as if the inhabitants had just stepped out for a moment. Cooking utensils and household items lie scattered, gathering dust and the echoes of a time long since past. What could have driven an entire community to such a drastic and coordinated departure, leaving behind the very foundations of their existence? Was it an act born of sheer desperation, or did a force more sinister and inexplicable work within the shadows of Kuldhara. As we delve deeper into this chilling mystery, the desert's whispering winds seem to carry the anguished cries of those who once called this place home. And in the silence that blankets the ruins, one can almost hear the beating of an unseen, malevolent presence, lying in wait for the foolish souls who dare to trespass upon its domain. In the wake of Kuldhara's inexplicable desertion, a veil of dread and superstition has draped itself over the forsaken village, giving rise to a multitude of chilling legends and folk tales. For the local inhabitants of the region, the mere utterance of Kuldhara's name is enough to evoke a sense of unease and trepidation. According to one of the most widely whispered accounts, a cruel and tyrannical minister named Celine Singh once laid claim to the village and its surrounding lands. Consumed by greed and an insatiable lust for power, Singh was notorious for his oppressive rules and the heavy taxes he imposed upon the villagers. It is said that, in an act of unfathomable arrogance, Singh took a fancy to the daughter of a revered village elder. When the elder refused to grant Singh's despicable demand, the enraged minister threatened to apply crippling taxes upon the entire community. Fearing the wrath of Singh's retribution, legend has it that the village's spiritual leaders invoked an ancient curse, vowing to abandon their homes and all their possessions to avoid further torment. As the story goes, on that fateful night in 1825, the entire population of Kuldhara vanished without a trace, leaving behind only their ghostly footprints in the desert sands. Some believe that the purse extends far beyond the village's borders, condemning any who dare to set foot within its haunted boundaries. Tales abound of those who have ventured into the ruins, only to be plagued by an unrelenting series of misfortunes and tragedies, as if the wrath of the curse had followed them back into the world of the living. Whether born of truth or mere superstition, the specter of this curse has cast an ominous pall over Kuldhara, forever etching it into the collective psyche as a place to be feared and avoided at all costs. For those who choose to defy the warnings, the desert winds seem to carry the whispered echoes of a dire warning. If you enter Kuldhara, you may never leave. For those who have dared to venture into the crumbling ruins of Kuldhara, one aspect of the experience stands out as perhaps the most unnerving of all: the deafening, oppressive silence that blankets the abandoned village. It is a silence that seems to defy the very laws of nature, a quietude so profound and absolute that it becomes a tangible, suffocating presence, weighing heavily upon the intruder's mind and soul. Visitors have spoken of an eerie, disquieting hush that descends the moment they cross the village's threshold, as if the very air itself has been drained of all sound and vibration. The gentle whispers of the desert wind are abruptly stilled, and even the faint rustling of life seems to be snuffed out, leaving only a vacuum of nothingness. It is within this unsettling void that the smallest of sounds, the crunch of footsteps on the ancient sand, or the thump of one's own heartbeat, takes on an almost deafening quality, reverberating through the stillness like a thunderclap. Those who have endured this haunting silence speak of an overwhelming sense of isolation and vulnerability, as if the very fabric of reality has been torn asunder, leaving them adrift in a realm where the laws of nature no longer apply. Some have reported feeling an unseen presence lurking just beyond the veil of their perception, stalking their every move with an eerie, malevolent intent. The hairs on the back of their necks have stood on end, their skin prickling with the unmistakable sensation of being watched by invisible, malicious eyes. It is as if the curse that drove the inhabitants from their homes has manifested itself as this unnatural hush, a silent sentinel standing guard over the village, warning all who trespass that they are not welcome within its haunted confines. And in the fleeting moments when the silence is broken by the faintest of sounds, a whisper carried on the desert wind, or the faint echo of a disembodied footstep, it serves only to heighten the sense of dread and apprehension, a chilling reminder that, in the realm of Kuldhara, the line between the living and the dead grows ever more tenuous. For those who have braved the haunting silence of Kuldhara, a more insidious and terrifying phenomenon awaits. Fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures and apparitions that seem to defy all logical explanation. Numerous visitors have reported catching sight of mysterious shapes and forms flitting through their peripheral vision, only to vanish into the crumbling walls and doorways of the village's ancient strictures. Some speak of witnessing dark, humanoid silhouettes that appear to observe their movements from the shadows cast by the desert sun, their forms dissolving into nothingness the moment they are noticed. Others have described glimpsing the ghostly visage of a woman, her face twisted into an expression of eternal anguish, peering out from the shattered windows of the abandoned dwellings, only to disappear in a wisp of smoke. Are these sightings merely tricks of the mind, born of the overwhelming sense of dread and unease that permeates Kuldhara's borders? Or are they manifestations of a darker, more sinister presence that lies in wait, lurking within the very fabric of the cursed village. For those who have experienced these encounters, the memories are forever seared into their psyches, a haunting reminder of the unknown forces that hold sway over this forsaken place. Some visitors have reported feeling an unseen entity trailing their footsteps, its malevolent presence a palpable weight upon their shoulders. The sound of disembodied whispers and footfalls echoing through the empty streets has driven more than one intruder to the brink of madness, their minds unable to process the horrors that seem to defy all rational explanation, whether born of the living world or the realm of the supernatural. These shadowy apparitions serve as a chilling testament to the dark forces that appear to hold dominion over Kuldhara. And for those who dare to linger too long within its haunted confines, the line between reality and the realms of nightmare grows ever more blurred, until they too become just another whispered tale of terror echoing through the desert sands. Amidst the swirling miasma of legends and folk tales that have shrouded Kuldhara in an aura of dread and superstition, a handful of scholars and researchers have dedicated themselves to uncovering the village's true history and the factual events that led to its sudden and inexplicable abandonment. Through meticulous examination of historical records and archaeological evidence, these investigators have put forth a variety of theories, each seeking to shed light on the enigma that has confounded all who have dared to delve into Kuldhara's cursed past. Some historians have pointed to the arid climate and unforgiving desert conditions as a potential catalyst for the village's desertion. Perhaps a prolonged drought or famine drove the residents to seek greener pastures, abandoning their homes in a desperate bid for survival. Others have theorized that Kuldhara fell victim to the ravages of war or conquest, its inhabitants fleeing in the face of an advancing enemy force, or the tyrannical rule of an oppressive regime. Yet, for every rational explanation put forth, there seem to be countless unanswered questions and inconsistencies that defy conventional logic. Why would an entire population coordinate such a hasty and complete exodus, leaving behind all their worldly possessions and the very foundations of their existence? What force could have been so catastrophic, so utterly devastating, that it would drive over 1,500 souls to vanish into the desert night, never to be seen or heard from again? And perhaps most perplexing of all, why has Kuldhara remained untouched and frozen in time for nearly 2 centuries, as if its inhabitants had simply stepped out for a moment, never to return? As researchers continue to peel back the layers of this enigma, more unsettling questions arise, casting doubt on even the most plausible explanations. Could it be that the legends of a curse hold a kernel of truth, that the dark forces at play in Kuldhara's abandonment are far more insidious and otherworldly than any historical account could ever reveal. For those who have ventured into the village's haunted borders, the answer seems to linger in the oppressive silence and the fleeting shadows that taunt the living, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are best left unexplored, lest we invite the wrath of forces beyond our comprehension. Despite the efforts of scholars and historians to unravel the mysteries of Kuldhara through factual evidence and rational inquiry, a steady stream of chilling incidents and first-hand accounts continues to fuel the belief that a dark, supernatural force holds sway over the forsaken village. Tales abound of those who have ventured into the ruins, only to be plagued by a series of inexplicable misfortunes and tragedies upon their return to the world of the living, as if the curse that drove the inhabitants from their homes had followed them. A pall of misery and despair seems to descend upon those foolish enough to defy the warnings. Some have spoken of experiencing catastrophic financial ruin or the sudden loss of loved ones, their lives thrown into turmoil by a relentless onslaught of ill fortune. Others have reported being afflicted by strange ailments and afflictions that defy medical explanation, as if a malevolent force were slowly draining the life from their bodies. Perhaps most chilling of all are the accounts of those who claim to have been haunted by the restless spirits and phantoms of Kuldhara long after their departure from the village's borders. Disembodied voices and apparitions seem to follow them, tormenting their every waking moment and invading their dreams with visions of unspeakable horror. It is as if the curse has taken on a life of its own, a malignant force that feeds upon the fear and anguish of those who dare to trespass upon its domain. These harrowing experiences, passed down through whispered tales and first-hand accounts, have only served to solidify Kuldhara's reputation as a place cursed by forces beyond our mortal comprehension. For the local inhabitants of the region, the village has become a forbidden land, a place to be avoided at all costs lest one risk incurring the wrath of the restless spirits that call it home. Even the most hardened skeptics and rational minds have been known to give the ruins a wide berth, their convictions shaken by the sheer weight of evidence and testimony that surrounds this haunted place. And so, Kuldhara stands as a foreboding testament to the mysteries that still linger in our world, a chilling reminder that there are some forces that defy all logical explanation, and some secrets that are best left undisturbed. despite the myriad of warnings and dire tales that have cemented Kuldhara's reputation as a place cursed by the forces of the unknown. A steadfast few have dedicated themselves to venturing beyond the veil of superstition and folklore, driven by an insatiable hunger to uncover the truth behind the village's dark secrets, comprised of historians, researchers, and even self-proclaimed paranormal enthusiasts. These intrepid souls have made it their life's work to delve into the shadowy corners of Kuldhara's past, peeling back the layers of mystery that have confounded all you have dared to explore its haunted borders. Armed with the tools of modern science and historical inquiry, they have scoured the crumbling ruins and surrounding desert sands, sifting through every shred of archaeological evidence and documented account in the hopes of uncovering the catalyst that drove over 1,500 souls to vanish without a trace. Some have undertaken meticulous excavations and surveying of the village's ancient strictures, searching for clues or artifacts that may shed light on the lives of those who once called Kuldhara home. Others have pored over dusty tomes and obscure historical records, cross-referencing accounts, and piecing together the scattered fragments of the village's past like a macabre puzzle. And then there are those who have embraced more unconventional methods, employing an array of paranormal investigative techniques in their quest to make contact with the restless spirits that are said to linger within the village's eerie confines. Through the use of electronic voice phenomena recorders, infrared cameras, and other specialized equipment, these daring individuals have sought to capture empirical evidence of the supernatural forces that have fueled Kuldhara's reputation as a cursed and haunted place. That, for all their efforts, and the vast repositories of knowledge and data they have amassed, the core mystery of what truly transpired on that fateful night in 1825 remains as elusive and enigmatic as ever. Each new discovery, each tantalizing clue or unexplained phenomenon, only seems to unravel more questions, casting deeper shadows of doubt and uncertainty over the already murky truth. Perhaps it is this relentless pursuit of answers, this refusal to let the secrets of Kuldhara remain buried, that has incurred the wrath of the village's unseen guardians. For those who have ventured too deeply into the cursed ruins, strange afflictions and inexplicable occurrences have begun to plague their efforts, as if an unseen force is determined to keep the truth shrouded in darkness. Equipment has malfunctioned without explanation. Documented evidence has gone missing, and some have even reported being stalked by ominous shadows and disembodied whispers, as if the very spirits of Kuldhara are warning them to abandon their quest. That for the truly driven, for those who refuse to be cowed by the veil of superstition and fear, the pursuit of the truth is an all-consuming obsession, a challenge that must be met no matter the cost. And so, the quest to unravel the mysteries of the silent town of Kuldhara rages on, a relentless battle against the forces of the unknown, where the ultimate prize may be a truth more terrifying than any nightmare ever conceived. so we arrive at the end of our journey into the haunting depths of Kuldhara's shadowed past. A place where reality and nightmare have become inextricably intertwined, where the veil between the living world and the realms of the unknown grows perilously thin. As we have borne witness to the chilling accounts, the eerie phenomena, and the relentless pursuit to uncover the truth, one question lingers, an ominous specter that looms over all we have discussed. What if the legends hold more veracity than we dare to admit? What if the whispered tales of a primordial curse are more than just myth and superstition? Perhaps it is best that some mysteries remain unsolved, some secrets forever entombed beneath the sands of time. For there are forces at work in this forsaken place that defy all comprehension, enigmas that taunt the very limits of our feeble human understanding. As the desert winds howl their ominous refrain over the crumbling ruins of Kuldhara, one can almost discern the faintest echo of a chilling warning, a dire portent uttered by those restless souls who once called this place home. He who seeks to shatter the veil and gaze upon the truth shall pay a terrible price, the damnation of his immortal soul. So I implore you, dear listeners, let the mysteries of the silent town remain undisturbed. Turn away from the path that leads to its cursed borders, lest you invite those insidious forces to follow you back from the nightmare realm in which they dwell. Abandon your curiosity and rationality at the threshold of Kuldhara, and cling tightly to what sanity and peace of mind you have left. For some truths are better left entombed, and some secrets were never meant for mortal eyes to behold. You have been warned.